Welcome, boys and squirrels, to the Northern Outcast Outdoors podcast, The Outcast, your home for all things hunting, fishing, and ball busting related. Powered by Citizens Hunting Co., A&F Custom Calls, and Out on a Limb Manufacturing.
Here we are, boys and squirrels. We're back on a doubleheader. We're getting back on the schedule again here. This is episode 2, season 3. I'm going to say it again. I can't believe we've made it to season 3.
Well, when your seasons are 13 episodes, then it's pretty easy, right?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
I'm with you, bud. I'm with you. This was very questionable from the start. Recording out of your garage.
With the picnic table, yeah.
With the picnic table and like 2 degrees with a
just
heater.
a camera. Yeah, we've come a long ways.
A long ways.
Well, this episode I feel like is way overdue. We've been talking about getting our guest on here for a while. There's some old school connections kind of ring true with the Outcasts being just some hometown boys. We got our boy Brucey, who I went to school with, his cousin Brian, who I've known through his other cousin Jason for a long time, with Heirs of the Outdoors here in person, which is freaking awesome. You guys made it. I'm glad you guys are here.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks for having us come over. We were about 20-some minutes late. I almost shot a deer. I drew on a deer, and it never stopped. I gave it the old meh. And I didn't like that, so we got here a little late.
So no, you didn't give it the mat?
No, well, I gave it the mat. Fuck. So.
I can't believe it didn't stop.
Yeah. You guys want to kind of give the rundown? You guys are pretty much like kind of the same thing as us, just some buddies from back in the day, cousins from back in the day. You know, your dad, Alan's in on it with you guys, kind of a family thing.
Yeah, I think Brian can kind of give the history of Heirs. I mean, he's a little bit younger than me, so I started hunting with his dad, and Brian was shooting a bow with a PVC pipe and string in the basement.
Yeah, we got a video of me in 1997, 3 years old, shooting up to 15 yards with that PVC bow my dad made. He went to Lowe's.
No joke.
I'll have to show it to you. I haven't even posted it, but we've had it for about a year now. We got it from the camcorder, the VHS tapes, and transferred over to a thumb drive, so that's fun. I'll show it to you. But yeah, so I've been hunting obviously since I was that little, and then when I just got out of the Marines, and 2 buddies came up to me. They're like, "Hey, we can start filming hunts. It's going to be awesome. We'll make it like this, this great thing." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds really good. I'm 100% in." And life and everything like that gets to you, and I stuck with it, and I learned how to edit. My other editor I have, Nolan, we edited everything together. And we've had people come in, people leave, but there's some people that just stay. They're real into it, just with us, just like Bruce. We come together, we hunt every year. We really started it kind of trying to get new people into the hunting.
Yeah,
like not just kids, but like adults too. We've helped out. So if you get a hold of us, any kind of hunting you want to do, we have guys with knowledge of pretty much any kind of hunting you can do in PA, and we'll help you out, get you started. Just like we have my Bruce's what's your name? Kyle. I was gonna say that.
We have an audience here today.
Yeah, we have Kyle over here, and I don't know, probably because we're on the air now, I just got stupid, and I'm like, I've been talking to you like all day, and so yeah, we have Kyle here. My dad hooked him up with a bow. We got him all sighted in and everything like that. Just small stuff like that. We don't really put out and post or anything like that, but any kind of help that any new hunter needs, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So.
Can we send you Sabelli by chance, and you can take care of him? And
hey, Big Al's Bow Shop is open for business. We can teach you how to shoot, find deer.
He needs a lot of help.
Use a buck knife, skin a deer, take a shit in the woods, whatever you need, man.
I've taught him that part. No. I got that part. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, we keep telling him, it's like, listen, no one can tune bows better than you. Why don't you just, open something up in your retirement? But we've been keeping him busy enough. I can see why he doesn't. Yeah. Just trying to do a bunch of stuff. But we keep saying, like, I bought him a bow press, and now just this year for Christmas, we got him an arrow cutter. And it's like, hey, now you have everything that you need.
I already put him to work last weekend. He just got 12 arrows for me. Yeah. I said, I'm shipping them next week. They'll be there. I'll see ya.
I say, Chucky, you need some arrows cut. Actually, like, for real. Those ones for the squirrel hunt coming up.
I will, yeah.
Seriously,
I have one, though.
Say what?
You doing an archery squirrel hunt?
Our yearly one we do, yeah.
Do you have to wear the orange? I assume you do.
We do, yeah.
Because I really want to say, like, listen, PA Game Commission, if we're sitting in the stand, we want to shoot freaking squirrels.
Yeah.
Why do I have to put a vest on and a hat on just to do that? Like I shot a squirrel with my longbow in Ohio a couple weeks ago, like 12 yards. Awesome. So yeah, well, obviously I don't think we had to do that for that, but in PA,
if you're in the
like,
stand or whatever,
yeah, it's just like, why can't I do that? You know, it's not. I don't know. So that's dumb.
There's always one or two of us that have a gun too. So it's
that makes sense.
I mean, plus we are hunting with the dog, so it's not like we have to wait for them to come out and kind of do their squirrel thing. We're just following a dog around the whole time. She does all the actual work. Yeah. You just have to walk.
How many arrows do you ruin?
I've never done it myself personally, but Jeff is the one that started it all. Jeff and Boer, and then Jeff was the one with the bow. But now he wants me as a backup option, which I'm gonna have to get my bow fixed if we're doing it. So
here come the excuses already.
I just said I'll do it. I'll bring it over to Big Al.
Big Al's bow shop. He'll set you up.
I had some. I won't call him a hill, but he was a very nice guy, actually, in Ohio. Put a new string on me when I nicked mine in Ohio during our trip, first day of the trip. He built me a new string and had it done the next morning.
How did you nick your bowstring?
I don't know. And we were sitting in this meadow. We thought we heard a deer coming. We jumped down. I looked down at my bow, and I went to put my arrow away after the fact, and I looked down, and there was like 4 strands hanging off my string. I went, holy shit. So I don't know if it caught something coming in and out of the boat. I don't know if I set it down on something going through. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But I had to get some guy to build me a new, and it's all fucked.
I think my dad had a flying, like a kind of semi-broken string when we were in Utah. Like he was just about to shoot his elk. We didn't know he was about to shoot it, obviously. And he looks down and he goes, "Oh, that doesn't look good." And then an elk came and he shot him. We're like, "Oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore."
Just don't shoot it again.
I thought it was going to blow up in my hand. I was like, we got to get out of here right now, get this thing fixed.
Yeah.
But my old one, I went to take my D-loop off and my center serving. I was like, man, I need to get my center serving done. Well, I just peeled it off myself to take it there, and I was looking like where the knock point was. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
It was like all...
Afraid
I was like afraid to even hold. I just like gingerly put it back in the case. I was like, yeah, we're just going to leave you right there for forever now.
Don't touch it.
Just, if I don't look at it, it'll go away.
Just shoot straight once.
I don't know. I have some open-faced broadheads too, but I don't know if they touched it, but I've always normally super careful. I'm always grabbing my arrow, bringing it all the way out and around to bring it in. Just for that reason, but I don't think
it happens, man. Yeah, anything can happen in the field, that's for sure.
I mean, speaking of anything happening in the field in archery, you guys freaking cleaned up this year, dude. Cleaned up this year,
to put it lightly.
Yeah, we honestly, it's really surprising because we only hunted Saturdays, and not even all Saturdays.
Yeah.
Maybe we hunted a couple Fridays.
Yep.
And we have a couple weekends where we usually go to certain areas that we've been hunting for years, and the stand selection was, as long as you have that, and obviously the deer are there and you know it, you're gonna start seeing stuff. And we did get pretty lucky.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even know how many deer we killed on camera this year. It's all bucks. I only think we shot your doe. I
shot a doe on camera. I hit one early in the shoulder, and I think I sent that to you, Boer.
Yeah, we were looking at that because we were talking. I think that was right around the time you had yours. You shot in the butt, and then there was
it was the rear leg.
Nice. The hoof. Okay. Sorry,
that's no good.
It's not good at all, and it's still live. He'll be bigger next year.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you were showing me because we were talking about the slow mo. That's how we started talking about cameras.
Trying to figure out the camera angles, and when you're self filming, man, that's no joke. So big respect.
You're good.
We always talk about that, man. I give you guys all the credit in the world because just about every video you guys had this year, I think with the exception of your dad's, was all just one guy, one camera.
I filmed his PA buck.
Yeah. Was it? Okay.
And it's because that's that one I had to wrap around the tree because I didn't know that he grunted it and you snort wheezed it back. It was awesome. And my dad's buck was nice, but I self-filmed mine October. That's when I was wearing my suit. The last 30 minutes of freaking light, I climbed a tree and looked behind me. There's 2 big bucks coming at me. Oh boy,
that was a great video too.
Smoked it. And then he self-filmed his huge Ohio buck, just unbelievable spine shot. It was really cool.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
They never are.
His PA buck wasn't intentional, too. It wasn't even a spine shot. He pinned the shoulders together and just died right there.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe you got away with that, for one. When I saw you start flopping around up there, I was like, ah!
He was right behind me. I think the tree helped me a lot, but he definitely saw some movement and he stopped and he kept going. I'm like, I was like, I hope I didn't spook him twice, because he was right there at like 12 yards looking right up at us. In the video, you can see the snot dripping from his nose. That's how close we were. And it ran off. I was expecting him to shoot because he loves quartering 2 shots. Just loves them.
I have a habit when they're coming in close, facing me, to just pull and shoot.
Yeah. Well,
waylay them?
That's
waylay them.
I think that's the appropriate term for waylaying. So this year I told myself multiple times in the stand, I'm like, that deer needs to be quartering away before I even draw my bow. And of course, you saw the video where I hit the 1, quartering 2. And I was like, you idiot. That's the first deer of the year. And you're not going to find it. And I didn't. And then I had another doe come in. And in Ohio, you can put corn out, which is gravy. And this doe's coming in. I'm getting all excited. She's behind me, and she knows I'm there, but she's hungry. She keeps looking up, giving me the eyeballs, And I'm like, sweet, just stay calm, wait. So finally, she comes in, and I filmed her for a very long time for me, which is like a minute and a half. And then she quartered away, and I drilled her right behind the shoulder, and she ran 10 yards and flopped over, and I was like, sweet, I got it on camera. And then I go to look at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a freaking tree in the way. You can't see the arrow impact. I'm like, super pissed about it.
You could see the lighted knock going right towards it, so we made a video of it anyways. He has these lighted knocks that work great for his broadheads. I could never get those things to fly. The nocturnals.
Nocturnals, that's what I use.
They're terrible for me. Like, for field tips, they're just, they fly pretty good, but for the broadheads, as soon as I throw like even my fixed blade broadhead on it, or pretty much any other one, it just flies all over the place. At 20 yards, I can miss by that much, which is weird. I've never understood it, so I just don't use them.
It might be messing up your front of center because they are heavier than a regular.
Yeah, I have the unibushings in the back. So I did actually take out a unibushing in one and put another type of lighted knock that I got on like Amazon on there, and it's decent, but they don't fly near as good as
the Luminox. The other ones, I'm not a big fan of those. We switched from those a couple years ago back to the nocturnals.
I will say though, the nocturnals for the micro diameter, Sam uses them, and he has the worst luck in the world. Like, they just don't go off.
They don't light up.
They never. And if they do light up, as soon as they hit impact, they just either blow up or they just turn off. They're the worst lighted knocks ever. So he's been using some knockoff brand, and they work great. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, but mine, I've never had an issue with nocturnal.
They fly the same, even with broadheads.
Perfect.
See, I don't
but
know
I'm
what
not
it
using
is, man.
fixed blade.
I've used 2 bows now because I shot Matthews Prestige for over 15 years. And I was using that, and it could never get them to fly straight, and had the nocturnals. And this past year, I was like, all right, I got a new V3, and I'm like, all right, well, now I'm going to shoot these nocturnals. It's going to be awesome, so much better footage. And the same thing happened. So I'm like, what is going on? So I don't understand it. So that's why if you see the videos of me shooting a deer, I don't have lighted knocks. I probably never will. But I try to only shoot things that are well lit, so that's, I usually, because I don't know about you guys, we stop really shooting things unless it's on, like, it's definitely on camera.
He waits. He is very patient.
Yeah. Me too.
It's a miracle.
Unless it's a buck, then I got lucky.
Sore subject.
So to back up from the beginning, when you're like, hey, how'd this all started? Brian's dad, Uncle Alan, Big Al. I mean, not to overbeat the term the goat, but this guy has hunted since 16, 15, younger than that, started fishing, like OG bow hunter, climbing trees by bear hugging them, shooting fingertips.
Yeah, they started out with recurves and trying to shoot them running and stuff like that, and then they went up to when he got his first compound, they were still all shooting fingers, and like my grandpa is kind of like the same way. I remember he has like those old bear broadheads that are 2 blades. Oh, he freaking got like a razor, like a razor you'd scrape something off with, and put it and tried to make it a 4 blade, like just doing a whole bunch of dumb stuff.
Killed deer with
it. Oh yeah.
And
he's an animal.
I'm gonna need to see pictures of that. That'd be like an unbelievable post.
he tells a story. So you go back to hunting and like how you got started. Like, I was 3 or 4. My dad was shooting crows in the yard with a 22, and he's like, go get it, son. And I thought it was the best thing ever. So I'd go out and grab a crow and run back. And that got me into it. And then you do your first squirrel hunt with the old man, and you're basically Elmer Fudding down through the woods, and you shoot one. And not every kid gets fired up about that, but I know for Brian and I, it was like gold.
Yeah.
So you get excited because there's a dead animal. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going Jeffrey Dahmer style, but that was awesome.
I don't know. I see that look in your eye right
You
now.
saw
and I'm
that?
getting a
Hey, I
little-
wasn't born in Ohio, so
Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay,
We're
yeah,
clear.
yeah, yeah,
West,
we're
West
clear.
Paw through and through. So, like, you know, coming up to this, I'm thinking, man, what kind of questions are they going to ask us? Like, how did hunting actually impact me? When did I like the
Like it's an interview.
seriously?
Yeah.
Because you're like, when did this switch like flick on? I mean, my dad put red tape on a brown hat and had me walk through the woods. Like, you don't do that. You get shot. You look like a turkey. But that was awesome.
Yeah.
So you fast forward and remind you going back to the PVC conversation where I was going with that. I used to babysit Brian. And believe that or not, I'm that old, but not. And we'd play deer hunting in his hallway. So I would be the deer, and he would shoot me with his little, makeshift bow.
Yeah, we had a Nerf bow because I think that started hurting after a while. Or like we did literally just get those bouncy balls that like were just ubiquitous in like the late '90s, early 2000s.
The little yellow
and I'd be
ones.
whipping bouncy balls as like
Chucking
projectiles. Like I'd be like, "Oh, you're a mountain goat."
Man, it was like good times. So you think about this stuff, and like, my personal opinion of Heirs, I wasn't a founder of Heirs to the Outdoors, but always been a part of it. And I've filmed for other companies. One other company, Wired Outdoors, which you guys have probably have seen. So I had an ex-brother-in-law, and I would film for him. Got away from that. Either way, got back into filming. And as you're doing this and you're filming this stuff, you're like, man, why do I film all this stuff? Because it's freaking awesome, number one, to rewatch it.
Yeah.
And number two, like, we have kids and the hunting population's dissipating, right? People aren't getting into it, but my kids freaking love it.
Yeah.
They love
Mhm.
it. They go nuts. Like, Brian will share some stories, I'm sure, about some random dude approaching his dad in the woods
Yeah.
and being like, I saw you on YouTube.
Yeah.
And can I take a picture with you? Like, come on, man. We're just some West Paw podonks. Like,
That's
we don't
happening
know
so much
anything.
more often than we thought it ever would now. Like at the bank 2 days ago, my dad had someone saying that like his little kid like loved watching our stuff. That 2 weeks ago, that guy went in the middle of the woods and just said like, "Oh, let's take pictures." Couple like 2 years ago, this one lady at the hardware store said like, "Oh, I just watched you shoot an elk. That was awesome."
It's just wild stuff like that. And it's fantastic. But Brian, at the end of one of his videos this year, his dad's like, they just shot 2 deer and he's walking down this trail. And what'd you say? This is
the guy responsible for my addiction.
the guy responsible for my addiction.
Yep.
So
That's a good way to put it.
sorry to my wife, Rosie. That's part of it. And to my dad, who also got me into it and shooting stuff. But, anyways, I can go on
But he's
and on
right about
that.
the hunter population going way down, which we used to, and I think we still might be the highest hunter density in the world in PA. But still, like trying to find even kids that are super into it's hard. Like we tried to like get like a lot of like, I've worked with some kids that don't really have like father figures and take them in, train them. Like that turkey hunt we just watched behind us there, that he was his first turkey. I got him his first deer with a crossbow and stuff like that. He was real into it. But trying to find kids now to just like, hey, free guided turkey hunt for you season. I finally got one on the last day this year, and he shot one at 10 yards. It's awesome. Like we got a video of that too. But no one else is able to find kids that just want to get out there. They'll do it like
The
maybe
father
once.
figure thing is, I think, the common denominator.
Probably, I would say.
Majority of this.
If I
which
didn't
is
have my
insane.
dad, I wouldn't. I don't know if either of us would be as into it as we are. But
It wasn't even just my dad. It was my dad, both
Role
my
models,
uncles,
man.
my
Yeah.
both my grandparents, my
Friends.
great grandpa. I have his muzzleloader still.
Right.
That thing's killed more deer than probably anybody at this table combined.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is too, you take kids like that out that don't have that role model. You might take them out a couple times and they're hooked, but without anybody to continue that as a kid, I mean, you don't have a lot of resources to get out there and do it yourself.
yeah,
It's tough because then it dies off and they lose it. And then, whatever happens, sports, interest, girls, whatever, guys, if whatever you're into. And female hunters. Guys, follow along. And, anything can happen. And then next thing you know, they're 25 years old and they go, I used to hunt a lot. I get this all the time. I run into people and they're like, man, I used to hunt a lot as a kid, but I haven't been out in 10 years.
yeah, that's him. He just
Kyle.
got set up with his bow today, and
I'm
he's
like,
about
why?
to slam some.
I'm like, why? Like, what do you mean? I'll take you hunting, whatever. But it's like, it's hard because once
Time.
you lose them, they got to find the time and effort to get back into it.
And we're hunting an area, man. Like, I mean,
the huntable land is dwindling.
Finding a place,
dwindling,
and then spending the time outside of work, and then having the opportunities to actually take a shot at one. I mean, it's kind of like golf, right? You have one good shot, and you might miss the hole, but you're like, I got to do it again. Some guys are like that. Other guys are like, screw that. I just spent 8 hours out in the woods and I didn't shoot anything.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to that as far as like scenery, enjoyment, relaxation.
That's what the old man used to say before he died. He's like, there's fishing and catching.
Yeah.
I like to go fishing.
Absolutely.
There's hunting and killing,
Yeah. Especially with us, we got like Saturdays and that, especially for my job right now, like we got Saturdays and that's it.
That's it.
I might be able to squeeze a Friday. So that's why I really hope that, I know it's a big debate and you can be on either side of it, but I hope they start allowing us to hunt on Sundays like in Ohio
or West Virginia for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Not that far
Any
away.
other state except for Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Delaware, I think.
It's all northeastern. All northeastern states, yeah. I think Connecticut too. Connecticut.
Maybe it's I know it's Massachusetts, might be Connecticut.
They're all. I think all of them are, honestly.
Yeah, it's
is Maryland? No, Maryland. You can hunt Sundays too.
Yeah. It's just some of them far northeast states that's still on those same blue laws.
What the hell do you hunt up there?
They actually have really big deer. Some of those
in
areas.
Maryland.
Maryland has some great deer. Actually, they have some of the highest big record bucks. Like we're talking.
But I'm saying
over
like there's not like the
book bucks. But no,
the PA vibe of hunting.
They are not
is
Pennsylvania.
Not there is what
They're
I'm
not
getting.
Yeah, definitely not
necessarily the animals.
And I think you'd probably be able to get a lot of new hunters out on if they had 2 days on a weekend to do that, especially because kids.
They're talking about changing the first day of rifleback, which doesn't mean shit to me anymore because no one really goes to my camp like in the old days. But I think it's the actual opposite. Is we're seeing more people in our generation that necessarily didn't grow up hunting, like Sibeli, from like the Joe Rogans, the Cameron Haynes, like the Jockos, like people our age, millennials that maybe didn't have a dad that hunted, but they saw that and they're like, oh, that looks cool, I want to try it. And like I think we're seeing more people in our age group that are getting into it, as opposed that like never were into it, as opposed to like younger kids growing up.
Well, think too financially, right? I mean, to buy
that too, yeah.
In all reality, if you're going to get somebody into hunting, you want to get somebody our age into hunting because they're going to spend money on the sport.
That too.
They're going to invest money into the sport. A kid is only going to do so much. They're only going to spend so much money.
Well, they're going to spend whatever their parents.
$26.99.
They have to use my guns, which is fine by me, but
right.
So,
but you get someone like Sibeli, he's going to go buy that brand new Matthews bow. He's going to buy a whole outfit of hunting clothing. So it's good for hunting. It's good for the industry. It's good for the sport. But to continue to keep that going, you got to get kids in it too.
Yeah.
The Sunday hunting thing or the Saturday opener. I mean, I'm obviously totally for Sunday hunting. First off, like that's huge.
I don't understand the divide on that. It's like, dude, are you up there to hunt or drink? Because you can go up there to drink any weekend.
And that's kind of it. People think with the Saturday opener, we just covered this on the distraction, but like good topics of it. There's arguments for and against. I'm obviously for it because I can hunt 2 days and not take vacation time from work.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Like, why do you want to like tell me when I need to take vacation? And if you do take Monday off, what do you get to hunt? The morning? Maybe the afternoon if you're low. What if you're going up camp? Yeah. You can't hunt the afternoon. You got to get back and get your ass to work the next morning. Yeah. So you get half a day of hunting compared to 2 days of hunting or a day and a half of hunting. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't really understand the arguments against it besides just the tradition thing and like you want to go to your camp, hang out a couple days. But it's on, if it was on Monday, stopping
you from doing that.
I know. If it was on Monday, I would drive up Sunday night. Because I'm busy. I have a bunch of stuff to do and. I'd take care of the stuff I needed to take care of and then hunt maybe Monday, taking 1 or 2 days off. But to have a guaranteed 2 days for rifle is fantastic. Like, I don't understand. And even this year, we had a bunch of guys on opening day, and me and my dad still shot deer. We saw a deer each. We saw over 20 deer. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand, people still like shot deer, and it wasn't any more busy than the Mondays that were in the. I don't understand. That's what I just don't get it. Like, what have you heard besides that argument? So what I've heard and what I've actually read, like, because there's a group on Facebook, right? There's always a group. If you don't want something or you don't agree with something, you make a group on Facebook. Damn, and it's probably 50 to 65-year-old dudes
and up. Yeah.
who only go out
So-
that weekend and don't hunt anything else.
And they sit in their same
they're
stump every year
and
and
they're
never
on
shoot
private,
anything.
and they're on private land.
Yeah.
yeah.
The main one I saw recently, I read it, and it was basically a guy arguing that when they took away the Monday opener, they basically took away the tradition of the camp atmosphere, the hunting atmosphere, and that
Through the weekend.
is what used to hook young kids. And his argument was that the number of youth license sales have gone down since the Saturday opener. But my argument would be youth license sales have been going down for 20 years.
Right, then
You can't
go to
just
camp
say-
on a Thursday, like,
Right.
or a Friday or whatever, and
So-
then go earlier. Like,
Yeah, so my
so
point
you take
was-
vacation, not me.
Exactly. My point was, the whole reason people feel rushed. They go up Friday if they're fortunate enough to do so, because it's after Thanksgiving. You can't go up Thursday. You have family stuff. You have the holiday. What if they just move the entire season another week back? Get it away from Thanksgiving. Take
Yeah.
it another week, because then if you have a Saturday opener and you have the opportunity, go up Thursday night. Take Friday off. Go up Thursday night. Create that tradition on Friday. Take all day Friday, and then you get to hunt Saturday, Sunday, and come back home.
I mean,
And
there's a good argument.
Extend archery season.
I was going to
Yeah,
say, if you want
exactly.
to put it back to
Extend
Monday,
archery
take those
season.
Which I
2
love
days,
that
and
they
there's a couple
extend
more
archery
Sundays.
season.
So here
2
we
weeks-
go.
2
Here
years
we go.
ago.
This is actually going to be, this is working out great. You take archery season all the way to Thanksgiving. And then after
Yeah.
Thanksgiving on that Saturday, there's your bear season. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then following week, you open up rifle season.
I'm cool with that.
Well,
That'd be
here's the
great.
deal, man.
Boom.
We didn't get rutting deer until just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the
anyways,
rut was
so-
off
Yeah.
this year. It was
They
cold
were-
at first.
It was
Yeah.
weird.
And we still didn't get it. I
Mhm.
mean, we shot my dad's buck, and it was chasing does only because we rattled, and 5 minutes later they come through, and he went to check a scrape on the 23rd. That's the only rutting of October.
October.
And that's the only rutting action. I saw no other rutting action for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We saw here buck was we saw like a little bit of, starting to seek.
Yeah.
When you shot yours, what it was like November, like mid-November.
7th.
Yeah.
But I didn't see. I probably sat 5 or 6 times, and
And they were just seeking. They weren't chasing. They were seeking.
Yeah.
So it was way
They
late.
weren't zombie mode
I
yet.
shot my
Yeah.
deer on November 7th. It was running across the field seeking.
Yeah.
Mine was hot on a doe.
It's
Like-
weird because the weather patterns weren't like so different from years past, but it was just everything was like
We had
kinda-
that one little warm spell
the rain. I think
for
was
like
the
a
big thing.
short period right before November. But then it got cold, and it was
Yeah.
good. It should have been good.
Yeah, it should have been good, and it just never happened.
Yeah, because
But
that
I don't know
second
if
week
you-
we had snow. Because I remember the one day
I was in Ohio. That deer I shot there. I mean, he was in zombie mode, and that
Yeah.
was like the 15th, I want to say, in
It was
November.
definitely the second week.
And but I will say, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the first day of rifle, there were deer rutting hard. There were bucks rutting.
Yeah.
Our camp shot 3 bucks. The other guy's camp I know shot 5 bucks that day.
Jeez.
All 3 of the bucks that we shot were doing something rutty. Like the
Yeah.
one was chasing a doe right up her ass. The other one was making hitting a licking branch, making a scrape, and then started to seek. It was wild.
Yeah, it was great. The first day was phenomenal because we like I said, we saw over 20 some deer. We shot our does. We could have shot 3. We saw 5 bucks. We could have shot 3 or 4 of them for sure, and they were all just dogging does, like 5, 6, 7
In
does at a
public
time.
land that
Yeah,
was
public
just
land.
clear
Yeah,
cut.
public
It was
land.
just clear cut.
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah, a part
This
of it was
past
right
summer.
next to a clear cut, and they were just hauling ass.
Yeah.
It was great.
But there's also pressure on the first day. So, I mean,
There is.
You know, they're
we
getting
went a
bumped,
mile and a
moved
half
in.
in, and it was good. It was
I
really
have
good.
I have a theory though, because I feel like the last 2 years last 3 years with the Saturday opener, I feel like our camp's been the most successful it's ever been in the opening days of rifle season. My theory is because
you guys
don't
are
have,
actually up there to hunt and no other reason.
There's a lot of drinkers in our camp, but we all hunt.
go up
But we
there
all
to hunt.
But we all do. We did that all the years prior
Yeah.
too, and we haven't had the same success. My theory is you don't have 2 days of assholes walking all through the woods
That's
for
true
2
too.
days straight, kicking deer everywhere and putting all that pressure, all that scent and everything in the woods for 2 days prior. And then Monday comes and all the deer are already.
There's definitely some truth to that. I'll give
Because
you that.
Saturday, how many deer did you see natural movement? I saw a ton.
Yeah, it was wherever we. Yeah, well,
But
you
it
get,
depends
yeah,
on
you
where
guys
you're
were
hunting,
in it.
too.
So the
though.
past 4 years, I've hunted in the Allegheny National Forest.
That's where we hunt as well, yeah.
The first year, I saw like 25 deer, all pushed. Second year, I saw 55. Now, I don't know how many of those are repeat, But if it goes out of sight and comes back in, I don't know what deer
you got to hit the clicker. Yeah.
So the third year, I'm with my wife, and this would be last year. And we did have a buck on a doe right at daybreak. That was natural movement. Mm-hmm. She missed. And then within 20 minutes, I mean, more deer were coming through, but you could tell they were pushed just the way they were hopping through the woods.
What are you setting up on as far as like terrain feature kind of thing?
Benches. That's how Brian and I were taught by our uncle. You hunt ravines, you hunt benches, you hunt lookout areas where the bucks are going to be looking down over the hills or where there's natural flow coming through.
Yeah.
All the deer, at least on my end that I've killed, have been on a bench.
How far off the road approximately?
It depends on the area.
I mean, like in rifle season.
Oh, you can hunt 10 yards, man. It doesn't matter.
I know. I'm saying
the terrain, the surrounding terrain matters. You can kill them real close to the road, but like Uncle Brian, he shot. That's the video we put out. He shot 3 on opening morning.
So a little over a mile in.
Yeah, and we were a mile and a half. So if you wanted to
guessing if you're a mile and a half in, those deer aren't running for their lives.
They were still moving, honestly.
So the thing is, you're up on a mountain. Like, you're not a mountain for Western PA, but you're up on a big hill. And people are all coming in from the bottom right at daybreak because they don't want to walk in the dark, right? So all those deer are getting pressured, and they're going to thickets. Like the 3 deer he shot, all in a thicket.
Yep.
And
That's where to go.
They were trotting through. They didn't look like, we're moseying through.
They're not feeding.
They weren't completely hauling ass. Well, a lot of, like I said, the rutting activity, they were getting chased by a lot of bucks, but, the other ones, they were on a trot or like a low gallop or something. They weren't walking. Mm-hmm. But it's just, like you said, like if you got like 10, 20 trucks in the bottom of this public land and they're all down in there shooting at them, they're going to be moving.
But
absolutely.
What we've really been taught is, like, when you go into these places, especially in public land, I mean, you look for a few signs. Benches, number 1. Acorns, number 2. Deer poop falls right into that. If you're seeing scat on the ground, like, you're in a good spot because you know.
How were your guys' acorns this year? Because I know ours were horrible.
Nothing.
Okay. I've never seen it all over the place. There was just absolutely none. Like last year or the year before, you were just tripping over them.
Dude, the last 2 years was unreal.
Unreal. Year round too.
But that's why the antlers are falling off so early this year.
No food. But we also noticed in southwestern PA where we hunt, another farm we have permission to hunt on, acorns heavy for the last 3 years. We've crushed it down there. Mm-hmm. This year, not a single thing. So the patterns change. But in archery, we saw a handful of good deer. Couldn't get shots at them because they're moving on different levels. And then in rifle, they tore it up. Like big bucks shot in rifle. I mean, they're all shooting them at 50 plus yards, but different terrain. But we really think because the acorn population's been so high the past few years, like you got heavier deer density and they need to be thinned out because now there's no food. And if we have anything like the weather we had a couple weeks ago with that snow,
we're in trouble.
Those deer won't make it.
Deer in trouble.
They won't make it through that. It can't,
not in the big woods. Yeah.
No, not if you don't have food and they can't scratch for grass, right? The grass is all dead. So it's really interesting. I don't know how you guys have been taught just from a hunting standpoint, if it's self-learned just by walking in and looking. Because in Ohio, in certain areas, it's really flat. And, like, you don't have benches. It's hard to hunt. Public land hunting, at least in northeastern Ohio,
and it holds a lot of sign, too, because everything's flat. So everything's holding sign.
You can't see. You don't know. So, it just all depends.
That's actually kind of an interesting thing we were kind of mentioning when we were talking about gear earlier, like the binocular debate. And the push of the Western hunt, everybody wanted to have 10 powers.
Or
everybody
12.
Or there's like 12 by 50. Like everybody wanted these big things. How far can you see in a tree stand line of sight in October? 50 yards if you're lucky.
Yeah, maybe 100.
If you have some lanes.
That's another thing around here too, especially depending on what season you're hunting.
I never take binoculars on a bow.
I switched to the binocular. That's my new thing.
Yeah, because I have my camera on me. If I need to zoom in on something, I use that. So
that's fair. And you're also not taking any low light type situation shots because you said you want them on camera, which means you have to have light.
Yeah, we had, like, before I was hunting in Ohio with him, I had a longbow. We had 2 bucks at the corn at 15 yards. I didn't shoot them.
Broadside, perfect shots. I could get it on the cell phone camera, but he's like, no, man, we can't get it on the real camera.
Yeah, I didn't care because they weren't big bucks.
I would have killed
but
those deer.
that buck that ended up shooting.
You hear this, Chuck?
I'm never going to be that guy. Yeah, let's be honest.
That buck
with
that
you.
ended up shooting with the longbow, though, it was like freaking that buck was probably a 140 plus or something. I shot it. Never found it. I think it made it to another property, And there's the video of it actually put out that IG Instagram reel that has like over 50K now. The second to last one, the huge buck, 23 yards, hit it with a longbow, and it.
He had like kind of the bush, sort of the red brush, kind of like right on his like front shoulder there. Or am I thinking of a different one?
That's probably a different.
I don't. Yeah,
that's the one your cousin shot at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just we hit it. I was actually surprised to hit that good on a longbow shot.
Yeah.
23 yards, and it stuck in there. We think anywhere from 4 to 7 inches of penetration with a longbow. I'm shooting like 42 pounds with my draw length because it's a 50-pound bow, and it went, and we coughed up a little blood, and then it really stopped bleeding. We think it got to another property, but that thing was absolutely freaking massive. So I'm actually glad that, my point is, I'm really glad that I didn't shoot the ones in the dark where we couldn't see anything at first, because we got that on camera.
Yeah.
So,
but it was like straight off of TV. I mean, this thing came across another property under a tree, and I'm like, that's the buck, Brian. And Brian gets really excited. Like,
I shake like a leaf.
We shake for does. We shake for bambies.
Yeah,
we shake for anything that walks under us.
We were about to be making shirts here soon. I don't know. We've been talking about it for years, actually doing it, but just like the quote is just shaking for does, but we don't know what picture we should put. Like maybe little lines near the knees or something. But because we do,
no,
like,
I
don't
buy
care.
that. Yeah. I would definitely buy that.
I don't care what it is. Like I'll be like, all right, I've seen deer all summer. Like I'm not going to do it this time. I don't care if it's got milk on its lips. I see that tail in the first time. I'm shaking. I'm all over the place.
The video your dad shot that one this last year, and you were like,
I shake more than
Michael J. Fox
Bruce,
down there.
more than
Your
him.
dad even said something. He's like, dude, you're more wound up than I am.
I do it. I like filming just as much, or if not more, than I do shooting now, just because of that. Because I get to see what my video is going to look like, so if I can make a cool video for him or my dad or whoever I'm hunting with, I like to be in control of that, and I do get just as fired up because I know how awesome it's going to be.
That's really cool to hear someone else say that. Like coming from someone that films or like takes the filming probably more seriously than most people.
We're kind of transitioning now where it's like I have a daughter that's getting into it.
Yeah.
I want to film somebody. I mean, I'm going to film Kyle next year. I got another buddy I want to film because it's just as exciting. So with that buck that came in, and he's going to produce that video here shortly. You're almost done with it.
Yeah, I need to take one last video of explaining that like we didn't recover it, but also if we trespass in Ohio, we go to jail. So
it's not a good thing.
No.
And the whole time it's like coming in. I mean, it was like a 10-minute thing. You're like watching this buck come in, and it's moseying through with its head and bobbing, and you're like, dude, this is like out of a freaking TV show.
Yeah.
And I'm like whispering in his ear, I'm like, stay calm, because I knew he'd be shaking.
Which makes it worse, by the way.
I was actually pretty calm. It's like, listen, I have a longbow. I have to use the tip of my broadhead as an aiming point. I can't fuck this up. and I didn't. I really went right where I shot at. I'm like, oh, this is great. And we never found him. So, it is what it is.
But it's funny. You get tunnel vision. I don't know.
You get in the zone, you dial in.
If you got somebody standing behind, like, I don't hear anything. Man.
That was a big thing me and him were talking about in turkey season. The story keeps coming up. I've never, like, during turkey season, like, had, like, shit going down and someone on the same tree as me. That's never happened before. And,
it's
like,
awesome.
I'm going to say that 50% of me whiffing on that thing was that, like, having someone in my ear. I'm like,
the other 50 is that he didn't listen to me and crawl under the pine tree.
So it's really tough, though, because when you get that tunnel vision, man, you don't hear anything. Maybe that's why I can't hit him. Brian's dad will be filming me. It's twice now that's happened. He always brings it up. Like, I can't hunt with Bruce because he misses. Like, two times I've had him in the tree with me. First off, I've never killed a deer in front of him, and this is the man that, like, taught me how to deer hunt and has put me on numerous bucks over the year, and I couldn't get him the scope, all these problems. And then, like, 2 years ago, up in the mountains, this doe steps out broadside, perfect shot, would have been a great footage, and I whiffed. Clipped the top of the back, went right through it, never found it, right? No blood. And we rewatched the video, it's not there. Rewind, or fast forward to this year, same scenario. I was like, all right, don't go out, we'll hunt together. We get up in this tree, and I'm like, you know how you're sitting there, and you're like, I'm not going to see anything.
And then immediately.
And then, like, he's tapping the tree. And you're like, what the hell, man? I'm just about to take a nap. Like, we're in too early. And he's like, there's a doe. And I stand up and I'm like, oh man, here it comes. So I stay calm because I like those 1/4 shots. And of course, the old gal quarters away. And I draw and I'm like, I'm going to smash this doe. And I let it rip and you hear crack, man. And I'm like, what happened? And he's like, what'd you do? You just whiffed on it. I didn't see a limb stick in there. Talk about tunnel vision, right? Didn't even see it. And the arrow like wraps around the tree, drops to the bottom. He's like laughing. I'm like cursing on camera. Yeah. Like, cause I'm so mad. I'm like, that's a freaking chip shot. And I look up at him. I was like, never again am I letting you film me ever.
He does pretty good when I'm filming him though. It's like, the only time you really whiffed was, that one doe. Remember that we filmed the bobcat walking right underneath us, and then he shoots at 20 yards broadside, like should be perfect,
shot over,
right over it, and then like we're like, okay, cool, and then so he just goes, oh, I got another one, and I couldn't get on it, and he shoots at 35, just center punches it, and then but the only thing I got on that is the doe running up, and she starts like, when they're wobbling, her legs are kicking out all over the place, and she goes down, rolls down the hill, and every time like that happens or a deer goes down, he just starts laughing.
I get so excited. I don't know why.
That's when he gets excited, he laughs.
I don't know what it is, but man, my wife's like. So a few years ago when my wife and I were dating, she's like, you really like hunting, don't you? And I was like, yeah, that's what I like to do. Mm-hmm. And she's like, do you think I could come with you sometime? So this is a good story.
Swing.
And I'm like, what? She's like, or is it like a boys thing? I was like, no, you can come with me.
Double swing.
Yeah, man. Big time. Big time. So
that's how we had our first child.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, sweet. So can I like get you camo? And she's like, yeah, what do I need? So it was like dressing up Barbie, right? I was like, this is awesome. So we get in the woods. It's rifle season, right? This is like 11 years ago. And we're sitting in this double stand. It's cold as balls out, like cold. And she's got rubber boots on that are like the rain boots.
Yeah.
With no insulation. Like I did the old school thing. If you remember your kids putting bags over your feet and then put them in the boots, like that insulates anything. And we're sitting there and she's got my 30-30 and she's like, I gotta pee. So she gets down and I'm like, she starts walking on the crunchy leaves. And now she's like 10, 15 yards out, like crunching away. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, I gotta pee, don't watch. Right? This is early on dating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just pee, I'll look the other way. So anyway, she gets back in the stand there. She's pees. She's like, I feel better. She's fidgeting all morning, like hunting with a kid. No big deal. Long-winded, right? But this is fantastic. So we're sitting there and I'm like, just hold still for 5 minutes. And this big fat doe walks out to our right. It's like 45 yards. She's got a 30-30. She pulls the gun up. She's like, you can tell she's like, oh my gosh.
This is actually going to happen
like,
now.
Like,
the realization said it.
I'm going to shoot this deer. And by the way, she's like an old Western with a 30-30. I mean, this girl will rack shells.
Yeah.
Like, it is
badass.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And she's like hyperventilating. And I'm like, give me that gun. I grab the gun and wham, man, I smoke this doe. Yeah. Right? And I drop it in its tracks. And I'm like, yes. And she looks over at me, and it's the only time my wife's ever cussed at me. She's like, what the hell? That was my deer. And she literally like side hits me like pretty hard. And she's like, you made me sit out in this cold weather all day. Then you took the gun out of my hands and shot my deer. Like, I did do that. Good learning lesson. So now that I have kids, it's like, just don't touch the weapon, Bruce, because Brian can tell you this. He's the same way, man. If the brown's in the scope, like, it's going down.
Yeah.
So the next morning you went out and bought the ring after she said that, right?
No, that's a whole nother story. Probably not for a hunting podcast, but
anything goes.
But you talk about women in this sport. I mean, there's not a whole lot besides, the real pretty chicks that think they're into hunting.
The ones that show their tits more than the shit that they actually kill.
Exactly, man. Yeah. And they're all over Instagram, and they're YouTube, the ones making a whatever.
Killing.
Yeah, we can post like all these badass videos, all these big bucks getting smoked, us getting all fired up, and like, people like us like it, but you get one chick on there, gets this, 30-30 with like a scope backwards on there, takes a couple pictures and gets like 150,000, like just drives me insane.
But here, back
the
to
Northern
that.
Outcast.
Bing bong.
But back to that, man. Hey, there's females getting in the sport. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But they got to be really in it. Then I respect it.
They got to be in it.
Some of it's fake, no doubt.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, that's...
100%.
Like, Hannah Barron, I feel like, is a good example of that. She's...
Everyone, ladies, if you want if you want to get a man, start grabbing big old catfish with your hand, or just shoot
and a
deer.
bikini top, preferably.
Even if you just take pictures in camo, I guarantee you're going to get a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Good for them. They're probably making they're obviously making something on it, but like,
yeah, I don't agree with that.
I wish I could.
Everybody has a place.
Listen, I have pets, but no one wants to see them, though.
No one wants to see those.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject with women in sports. I mean, having 2 little girls and you're getting them into this hobby and you're like, all right, who can they actually idolize? Or not idolize, that's maybe a little too much. But
I mean,
who can they look up to as a female in the sport, right?
Yeah.
I don't know because I'm not glued to the Outdoor Channel and watching these shows that people have 1,000 acres and they have tons of money pumping into it.
I could give you some
monster
names.
bucks. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
but
there's like the Melissa Bachmans. You have
the girl, not the girl, the woman with Cryptech. I can't remember her name, but she's like the game commissioner of like Montana now. She's like killing it up there. But
honestly, as much as people don't like them, Taylor Drury too. She really does do the real thing, though.
Drurys are like one of the last like real tree families.
But you gotta understand
you
gotta understand their background and what they came up through. They came up hunting through public land just the same as we did.
The Drurys were legit.
They are legit. And Taylor's like,
that.
yes, does she wear makeup in the stand? Okay.
Hey, my wife put up makeup to get in the stand because she knew she was going to get a picture with a deer.
Like the Bomars? Get that away.
Get that out of here.
Who are they?
But like
Bomars?
I like his response.
I don't know.
But yeah, Melissa Bachman, Taylor Drury, Hannah Barron.
She's kind of.
I wouldn't go far past that.
So we talk about this tradition, like how do you get kids into this, man? How do you get kids into anything nowadays, right? Like how did I get into it? I saw somebody do it. So like fitness, studying, school, whatever you want to name it, hunting. Like we've noticed with our kids, like my daughters see me in the yard shooting and they're sitting on the tailgate as infants watching me shoot my bow. So they grow up seeing that and they're like, that looks cool. Mm-hmm. Can I try it? A lot of, not to go on the parental front because I'm not the best parent, but love my family.
You're a pretty good parent, dude.
I try.
Can't be any worse than me, bud.
Nah, God willing, man.
Will you be my father?
But blessed with wonderful kids. And my daughter's like, Dad, can I try that? And a lot of parents will be like, you're too young. Or no, you can't do that. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
How can we get you, like, how can I get you involved in this? Whether it's building a deck on your back porch, painting, God forbid you give your kid a paintbrush in the house.
I'll draw the line at the painting.
Yeah.
Because I don't even let my wife paint.
Yeah, that's
sore subject again. But.
Yeah. So, my kids see this. And then last weekend, got my daughter a crossbow for Christmas. And she was hyped. And she's like, I want to shoot that thing. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to give my kid a crossbow that shoots 385 feet per second. And she's 7.
And I'm her in the right direction.
But like when we were 7,
I had BB guns.
Mm-hmm.
I was out doing all sorts of
22
stuff.
at 6.
Yeah,
exactly.
Here, shoot this freaking M1 Garand.
But
the neighbor dude has like
whatever.
Today, an M1 Grand. I got a freaking slingshot
because I had an interesting childhood.
Slingshot, rocks, whatever.
Yeah, we had slingshots. We had Red Riders.
Oh man, you were out doing crazy stuff. But in today's world, like
it's like it's almost frowned upon.
You gave your kid a what? Like my daughter got a BB gun at 3, just so she could hold it. Right? I took her squirrel hunting this year, and I'm like, carry the gun.
Yeah.
You're not going to hurt anything. Like
giving them that responsibility, at a young age is a good idea because, like, when I was young, my dad's like, "This could kill someone. You could never see me again if you do something." And it's scary. Maybe it's a little bit scary at first, but you get the understanding of like, "Hey, I'm doing something important. Like this is I'm just teaching them to be responsible at first."
But if you get them involved and you do it correctly, and you're not hammering down on like
you're not forcing it.
Don't be too loud. Like. They're a kid, man.
They're going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, the patience that Brian's dad had with us was, like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you get in a ground blind with my daughter, like, early season, and I'm like, this is going to go one or two ways. Like, either she's going to be totally chill and dialed in, which is unlikely, or she's going to be wound up. And she was wound up. Like, we went through a bag of snacks in, like, 5 minutes.
That was gonna be my question. When you're bringing her out there, is it, like, snacks and electronics or no electronics?
No. So, I'm old school. My kids don't have iPads. They got fancy watches for Christmas, which are like the VTech. Like, I don't know what those are. My wife picked them out. But, like, we just don't do that stuff because of numerous reasons. So we get into the stand. I'm like, we're just going to chill. And the coolest thing ever. The sun's coming up. And she's like, Dad, that is so beautiful. Like a 7-year-old can recognize that.
Yeah.
Like
that's high level stuff. That's
right?
awesome.
You, like, when else can you experience that with your kid? Like, I don't know.
Most adults don't experience that. How many adults actually get up early enough, even on a Saturday, to watch the sunrise, like in the woods? Like you don't. No one does that.
It doesn't happen, you know. And I can flash back to archery hunting with my wife a few years ago, like in the fall when the leaves are just turning orange and that sunlight comes through, and you're like, a camera
just that real slight breeze.
Yeah, and a camera will not catch the color. And my wife and I are standing in this tree, and we're like, "Holy smokes, isn't this awesome?"
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get that, and you've to experience that with a family member or a friend, or it's truly remarkable. Like, hunting something, killing something that's freaking awesome. Like, definitely.
You're taking them into your world. Like, this is something that is so precious to you, and they finally, like, you see the realization on their face that they're like, "Oh wow, this is something very precious."
Absolutely.
That's so cool to experience that together.
I mean, we got to go to Colorado with Brian's dad back in September to do an over-the-counter elk hunt and like take a couple West Paw boys that don't know what they're doing but can archery hunt. They've killed one. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm along for the ride.
Where'd you guys get yours last year?
Was it Colorado? 2020, yeah. We shot one opening day in Utah.
That was it.
August 15th. They weren't bugling yet, but that's the earliest one because I needed to do it before my semester started. I was still in school. And so we went out there. We scouted for like 2.5 days. And
that was just you and your dad, right?
Me and my dad and my editor, Nolan, was there. And then my buddy from Montana came down too, Jacob Strobel. And we just set up on a bench just like we do in PA. And around 3 p.m., we had a cow and a calf walk through and couldn't get a shot at that because they're moving. And the bull came by. My dad smoked it.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. But this year in Colorado, I mean, Utah was absolutely beautiful, but Colorado just out of this world. Amazing. Yeah. Like we didn't see an elk, embarrassingly, for the entire 10-day vacation.
We did. At the wagon wheel.
Oh, yeah, at the wagon wheel. It rained a couple days, so we stayed in this hotel and then drove into where we were going. But yeah, it was over the counter unless you get there like on the first day, where you're probably not going to do well. So we put in for points now for other states.
But you rewind and you're like, we crest these hills and like you're climbing this, like a mountain.
Beautiful to be there.
It opens up and you're like you literally like. I mean, first off, you're out of breath because of the altitude, and then you crest the hill and you're like,
walk 10 yards.
Your still eyes light up.
Yeah,
like
Some of the pictures we got from there, like they don't look real. Yeah, they don't. But it's just what it looks like.
But you're talking to West Paw boys that a mountain's a 300-yard hill, and you're like, damn, dude, I got to get up that hill with a tree stand. Yeah. But that's Brian's dad was saying earlier. He's like, yeah, when Bruce was little, and he's telling my buddy over here, Kyle, he's like, yeah, I probably brought him into some spots we shouldn't have taken him into because you get down it, you climb some of these mountains, and I'm 13, chubby little fat kid, and I must have been out of my mind, or I just didn't have any friends or something, and I'm like, I'm gonna climb this hill at 6 a.m. and I'm gonna kill something. Like, what possesses a kid? But my Uncle Alan's walking up in front of me. He's like, let's go, man. We'll get up the hill. And he'd pause. He'd be like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, let's keep going. We got to get there because there's other hunters coming in the woods. You got to get your spot.
Yeah, for sure.
It clicks for some kids. It doesn't click for others. So,
I'm trying to get my nephew on that. Don't be a lazy hunter kind of thing because he hunts with my dad a lot. My dad's not a gun hunter, and God bless him. He's mid-60s. He's been doing it his whole life. When it comes to gun season, he's the guy that wants to go 50 yards off the road and shoot a deer because you can.
Big Russ is kind of a hard-nosed SOB, too.
Sure is.
He's a salty dog.
Sure is. Love him to death, though. He obviously loves taking his grandson out. It's his first grandson that he's been able to take hunting, so he loves doing it.
Yeah.
But last year, I was like, you know what? Second day, you're coming with me. And we shot, first day we went back, and it's over a mile back in, we shot 5 doe. Carted them all out at once. It was terrible. And then the next day we went back in the same spot. I brought his ass all the way back in there. He shoots his first ever buck with a gun.
For real?
Yeah. Wow. First ever buck with a gun. It's a spike on one side and a half a spike on the other side that got broken off. But it was hilarious because 4 deer there, we couldn't tell what they were when they were coming in. You could see their legs in the pines and you couldn't see their heads, and they come in. He can shoot anything.
Yeah.
He's got a doe tag. He's got a buck tag. He shoots this deer and it bucks real hard, quartering at us, and I hit it behind the shoulder, but I knew the quartering at us. He won lung and liver. That deer took off. Well, I see that one spike. The next one's another spike both sides. Next one's a 4-point. The last one's this nice ass 8-point.
Oh, man.
He racks the shell and pulls up the gun, and I grabbed his gun, threw it to the ground, and said, "No, you just shot a buck."
Yeah.
Are you serious? And he got so damn excited over that 1.5 point.
Yeah.
But the whole point of that was now he's a mile back, and he's got to drag that bitch out by himself.
Yeah. Dude.
And we threw it on the game cart, and he started dragging. He started complaining. I just scuff him on the back of his head. I'm like, "Listen, you son of a bitch. This is not lazy hunting."
No.
Right?
Yeah.
We came back here to kill a deer. This is why you got your buck. You got to work for it a little bit. You know, and then we helped them. I mess around with them a lot, but you got to toughen these kids up, man.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
My
In
earliest
the right
memories going small game hunting, like my uncle on my mom's side and my dad were the two craziest human beings, like psychos. Like there was only one rule: is don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
straight up. That was it. Like I remember
we hear it. Get there.
we went rabbit hunting at my grandparents' house. It was me, my uncle, and my grandpa. It was just the three of us. And I shot a rabbit. It was the first rabbit I ever shot. I was like so jacked up. I was like, I actually hit this thing. Like, hell yeah. He comes over and he goes, "All right, I'm going to show you what to do. You got this thing right here." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Give me your knife." He goes, "You didn't bring a knife?" I said, "No." He's like, "You can still do it without a knife." And I'm like, "Oh shit, he's serious." And like, you know, that's how we grew up doing stuff. Like, you know,
man,
you better figure it out. Like, and that's how we always were.
I will say though that with a caveat, like this generation is not our generation, right?
No.
You do have to take it somewhat easy on them.
Mike Lopez said it best when he was on. He said, "People in our like day and age need to find a way to suffer to like feel like they've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Like you need to like actually go out to look for a challenge because our life has become so easy."
Yeah.
Too simple. I mean,
I don't want you doing this with your daughters, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, don't.
Because you could force them out of the sport, but you know,
Don't do what Uncle Bernie did.
The way it's going with,
no Uncle Bernie.
Don't
here.
do Uncle Bernie.
Nah.
The way you're talking though, like your kids are going to be instilled with this inner itch, this passion, because they see you doing it.
Well, here's the
You're
thing:
you're
whether
the
it's
role model,
hunting,
right?
whether it's an athletic sport, whether it's school or whatever, I don't really care. I just want them to find what they love and enjoy it. So my wife and I have talked, like, I'm not going to push soccer. I'm not going to push this. Like, if they show an interest, I will encourage it and inspire them and coach them to enjoy the sport, play hard, etc. Like, if they sign up, like, you're going to finish the season. I mean, the same thing with, not to be a goon and talk about jujitsu. I sound like a CrossFitter.
That was a lot in one sentence there, bud.
Sorry. I can blurt it all out. That's only one bush light.
You don't CrossFit though.
Negative.
So you're all clear.
So I'm clear.
You don't throw sandbags around.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, man, I'm getting my butt whooped on the mats, and my daughter and I horse around, wrestle with the house, and my wife's like, "You're too hard on her." Even my dad sat me down. He's like, "Hey, man, take it easy on your daughters. Like, they're girls." I'm like, "Screw that, man. That'd be fine."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Can I come to jiu-jitsu?" And I'm like, are you same with my, like, you seeing a trend here? My kids are like, "Can I do it?" I'm like, "Absolutely. Let's go."
Yeah.
And fast forward 3 years, she's smashing boys on the mat. Like, Brian and I do some filming for the gym.
Yeah.
And there's a great female role model in the gym. And these kids just love this lady, like, or girl. And I mean, it's fascinating. So, if that's what she wants to do, great. I'll encourage it. And if just one day she says, "Dad, I'm done with that," I'll be like, "What are you going to do next?" You know, it's not going to be like, "Are you going to quit?"
No, you always got to do something. Like, that's one thing with our daughter. It's like, if you want to quit that, that's fine. If you don't like it, but you're going to do something else. You're not coming home and sitting on your ass.
Yeah. And that's why there's no iPads. There's like, do they watch TV? Sure.
Yeah.
But we all grew up with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So,
the biggest thing for me, like, it wasn't that I really wanted to go hunting. It's I wanted to spend time with my uncle and my grandpa because I thought they were cool.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the love for hunting came secondary. It's like, oh wow, this is actually, I really enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it stemmed from, was I just wanted to spend time with
And
them.
that's what my wife's like. She'll ask me, "Do you think Leah's my oldest daughter? Do you think she's just doing this because she wants to spend time with you?" I'm like, "Yeah,
absolutely.
That's fine. Like, I don't think it's negative.
As long as she's enjoying herself.
If she said she didn't want to go, then like, you're not going to make her go. Like, you just
well, now it's like, "Dad, can I come on the long weekend with the boys?" And I'm like, when you can sit in a tree stand for 5 hours, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then you're in.
It's funny. I was going to ask the question way early on in this, like, hey, where'd the name of this come from, right?
So,
Heirs to the outdoors.
It's just literally what we've been talking about. It's,
exactly. We've answered it.
Passing the torch,
right?
man.
Yeah, you have to, because if you don't, like, trying to find kids to go out on, on properties that I've gotten myself to get them to hunt, it's harder these days. That's why, like, with his kids, we're really happy that it happens. And like my dad ran into the guy at the bank who said his kid like watches all of our stuff, and now he got his first gun or crossbow. Anyways,
it was a compound bow.
Yeah, got his first compound bow, and now he's going to get into it. So we're making these videos. We started trying to get to all these kids and just getting them in the woods, but as that got harder, we realized that we can reach a lot more adults and kids that are going to start their own traditions and love for the sport by making these videos, and that's actually what it's done. So we actually are starting to accomplish that, which makes us pretty happy. So yeah, it's where it came from. It's just trying to pass it down.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, now that you guys really have hit, like you have hit your goal, as you say, right? What do you like? What are you looking for? End goal? Like, what's the next step? Are you going to start doing? Like child events, where shooting events with kids. Like, we've turned that around for a long time. Like an archery shoot for kids, I mean, what's next for the group,
We probably are going to start doing maybe like a groundhog hunt, like start sponsoring events where we have people, sign up and do things. And because we've done a couple of groundhog hunts before, where you go out and you make it a Saturday, a crow hunt Saturday, something where you can take a kid to do
the low pressure hunts.
Yeah, the low pressure hunts that you can get kids in, squirrel hunts, stuff like that. I think we're probably going to start doing those events and just amping up and trying to find new hunters, just continuing what we're doing. So I really like the content we're putting out. We, like you said, we appreciate you noticing. We shot a lot of nice bucks on camera this year. Just keep doing that. And if it keeps getting people interested in hunting, we're going to continue to do that.
I feel like we have a pretty cool, like, like the 4 or 5 like local channels that like people post on. Like I generally talk to, in some way interact with like everybody. Like anytime we post something, like we'll tag you or you tag us, or we're always watching each other. It's it's cool to see that stuff, and it's cool to see like dudes doing like-minded shit too, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, and we got to do some collaboration events too, because if we're all, I'm guarantee everyone who follows us follows you and vice versa, just because I think a lot of people would just appreciate the effort and like just seeing the camaraderie that we have and how much we like it. And a lot of people probably wish they have that. That's why people that sometimes message us and be like, all right, hey, when do you want to go out?
Well,
so
okay with that. Interesting saying that. And I shared this with Brian and my uncle this week. A guy I trained with at the gym, he's in his late 50s. Awesome dude. Trained with him for 5 or 6 years. He's hunted all over the country. He comes up to me. He's like, hey, Bruce, can I talk to you? I was like, what's up, man? Dude, this dude, Golden Glove boxer, like, bad dude. Like, he could whoop some ass. He's whipped mine a few times on the mats. So he's like, man, I saw that video of you guys hunting, and I saw you making coffee in the camper. I'm like, what? And,
interesting segue.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, we always have some coffee after we're done hunting or whatever. And he's like, that just brought back so many good memories. I'm like, what? He's like, well, I always hunted with older gentlemen. Those guys have passed on. I hunted out west in Wyoming and whatnot. And he's like, do you think I could ever join you? He's like, I don't need a place to hunt. I just see those videos and I see what you guys are doing. I think I would really, it was like so sincere.
Yeah.
And this is a dude that could kill me with his knuckles, like just looking at me. He'd just put his hand up and I'd fall over. And, I'm like, wow, man, that's pretty awesome. Like, guy watches a couple YouTube videos. Yeah. He sees me all the time. He knows, like, I really love it. And he's like, he's like, not just you, but like your crew. I just want to experience it for a weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, heck yeah, man. And he must have said like 5 times, like, I don't need property to hunt. Like, he's a solo hunter. This dude's shared some wild stories, man.
Yeah.
And you're like, absolutely. I want you to come hunt with us.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
And I'll film you.
Yeah.
Because it'll be phenomenal. Yeah. And you'll remember it forever.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the best part
about it. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, it's just the culture that we have now these days. Like, a lot of people don't even know their neighbors. So if they see some people, like any sense of community, they want to attach to. And it's good that we,
very good point.
Every video we every video we upload has a kill on camera. That's also cool too. So we have the camaraderie and we have that, like, that rush and everything like that. And I think that's probably why he does that. And that's why I appreciate when people say, like, hey, we want to come with you, or like, hey, we like what you're doing, or hey, my son has been watching your stuff and he's doing XYZ. Like, it's the best. That's what we're here for. So.
Yeah, that's the
no doubt.
Other than the guy recently, do you guys have like an interesting story of like running into somebody that like watched the channel like in like a crazy place or something like that?
That's with your dad on that.
Yeah, it's always my dad. I think it's just because he looks. I have a very
it's the gray hair.
I look like a preset in any video game you've ever played. You know what I mean? Like
it's that high and tight marine cut.
Yeah,
he's the default character.
Yeah, like I'm one of the main guy on Skyrim.
You look like more like Jason than you look like you and Jason look more related than you and Bruce look.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's probably just the high.
I'm pretty sure he's the guy from Street Fighter. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Guile.
So like no one really. I think people couldn't pick me out of a crowd, but my dad, he's got these like glaring blue eyes and glasses.
The glasses for sure.
Yeah. So everyone, if we're going somewhere, everyone recognizes him pretty well, and he's like multiple times, just like no matter where he goes, and like especially Western PA, everyone likes like who you are. But for me, no one really is knowing exactly who I am in a crowd. What about you? No one, because you're in Cleveland.
No,
you know,
there's no way.
We're not that far into Ohio.
But they're up
yet.
on this hillside. The first day of that was the first day of rifle.
No, I was
with Saturday.
Him. Yeah, it was the next Saturday. I couldn't go. I think I had a wedding.
So we get a text. We're in the tree stand, and we get this text like some kid just came up to me and said he knew me, wanted a picture with me. We're like, what? Like what in the world? And the kid like tags them, and that stuff's awesome.
Yeah, my dad I think was helping him track a buck or something after that.
Cool. Just hit one.
So yeah, he messaged the page and everything, and I invited him to go out hunting with us next year.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, it's tough with time. I mean, you guys know we're all working. We got
yeah.
families and stuff, and I mean, my wife's like, "Who are you hunting with this year? Like, what weekends are booked?" And it's like, well, we got to think in advance because you only have so much time.
Yep.
And it's sweet because the kids are getting involved now, so like I can bring the kids.
Oh yeah, it's a little smoke
awesome.
and mirror for you, no doubt.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's understood across the board, right?
Oh yeah.
But
I think you guys bring up a great point. Like, don't miss the little details in your videos because you never know who's watching. That's what struck them.
It's hard because a lot of times when we were first starting out, it's like no one knows who we are. Why would we put that stuff in there?
Yeah.
And after a while, people started liking the action shots and the kills that we get. But I've started incorporating a lot more of the stuff, like that guy who saw us pouring coffee and stuff like that. The more I noticed, I started incorporating that stuff in there without letting the videos drag because I hate watching a 30-minute YouTube video.
Yeah, that's the other thing we always talk about. If it's more than 10 minutes, man, good luck.
Yeah, we talked about that today.
But I also hate, I yelled at him all the time. I'm like, dude, but you didn't capture like our full ass experience. It was such a freaking awesome
So are you
experience.
looking for viewers or are you looking for the return where you can watch it yourself for 30 minutes?
See, pretty much me. I'm the viewer.
So you got to look at the end goal. Like you can watch that on your computer because you can save it, right?
I always try to toe that line because I do know there's like the other half that like genuinely do
want to watch
I guess from my perspective, it's like when I watch a video, this is what I kind of want to see. I want to see what actually happened. And I know what happened in our hunt. And it's like, I know he has to draw it down, but I'm like, man, there was some really funny shit here. And there was some really cool shit that happened here.
I always use our Oklahoma trip as like the example.
That
like,
was a good video.
17 minutes long. I don't think it got
And it
over 500.
tanked,
I think it maybe got like 300 views.
But
Probably
turkey
the-
hunting. No one watched
But our turkey hunters, our turkey videos get
They can
more views. Like
They
the
can.
bird I shot later that year, that same year, it's it's like I think
up.
our third most watched video.
Really?
I think it was the timing on that one because it was like obviously first day kill. You got it out quick.
Yeah.
Everybody was thinking turkey. They were all in on
Timing's
it.
everything because
The
we have like
picture
some
was
of the
beautiful.
best. We have some just come to 15, 10 yards, just slam them in the face, and we get like 200 views.
Yeah.
So it's just timing
It's
really
tough,
matters when it
man.
comes to that. But to your point, like I really do think that you can't just make them shorter just so it can get a couple of
No,
more
I don't
views
go
at
that
first.
far, but
Like for
No, but it's-
montages and stuff like that, IG Reel, like I said, it's over 50,000 views in like a couple of days. Meanwhile, like the actual full videos have like maybe 1,000, 2,000 views or something like that. But I'm okay with that because those people who really are into it like we are watched it. I
Well,
don't
that's
care
the niche,
about
right? That's the niche we're all playing.
Yeah.
It's like we're appealing to people like us, and there's,
I don't.
quite frankly, there's not an army of people like us.
Yeah, how many people those 50K or whatever? If you get a video like that, how many are really into it? Probably
I filmed
the
a
remaining
button
1,000.
buck jump across a creek this year, and it went for over 50,000 views.
Yeah.
As a short.
See, I don't put much stock into that. Like I said,
a
we have,
Bambi.
especially with Western PA, we have like the few couple groups that do this and do it well. And those that's all I care about. That's our audience right now. And if other people in other states want to watch it, that's awesome. We do have a lot of those people, but we're speaking to our Pennsylvania culture. Like it's what we live for. It's us, and I'm not changing for that for anybody else.
No, we've always stayed true to all that. Like I've said that from day one.
So I
We're not selling out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. I got a question for you guys. How many guys are actually filming on a pretty regular basis?
Go ahead, Chuck. Why don't you field this one?
Do you want me to go ahead and turn the channel on and see who has some of the most videos up there?
I mean, like, are you talking like in our group or just in general, like across the state?
No, across your group. Like
Chuck films.
rough numbers.
So I got a ton of good turkey content because
That's
it's easy for me to carry a camera, but I've started getting a little too serious into deer hunting again, and I brought the camera. The only time I actually got the damn footage was when I hit that deer in the
I've been
back
busting
leg,
his balls bad this year.
like literally
I've been riding
square
him.
in the rear quarter,
Yeah.
quartering at me.
Yeah, that's all right.
The devil took
Those things
over,
happen. Yeah.
and
Chirping in your ear
it's
a
the
little
only one I got. The other one, the one I killed in Pennsylvania, the camera was up here.
Yeah.
But I was chilling, eating my damn Pop-Tart.
Yeah,
and I look
he won't
back.
turn the
freaking
camera on,
Pop-Tarts.
but he won't drop the Pop-Tart out of his mouth when it's a full draw
Pop-Tart
either.
was already
he was
on the lip.
anchoring with the Pop-Tart.
And I look back and the deer's there, and it's just like bang, bang, bang. And I'm not thinking, my mind doesn't go, turn the camera on
Yeah.
and then continue to do what you're doing. And
Yeah.
that's on me. Like I carried the camera in the woods for at least 2 seasons, and like I kind of hate it, to be honest.
It gets
My-
old, right?
Yeah, my setup wasn't great for it for solo filming, and I said it. I complain to him all the time, and you know what he tells me? Well, look at Heirs of the Outdoors. They get all
Get
kinds of
outta
stuff.
here.
I'm not
Get
even.
outta here.
I'm not even kidding you.
No way.
This son of a bitch, literally. Am I wrong?
No way.
No, literally,
I'm
after Bruce
100%
shot his, I
actual.
said, I don't know, Bruce was by himself, and he got it on camera.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
He literally
nah.
said, "Look at Heirs Outdoors. They get all kinds of self-filming shit." And I was like, "Let me look them up, motherfucker."
Dude, I think it was last year. So filming for Wired, and then with Heirs, I've always had a camera behind Brian when they started it. Right? It's like if I killed a deer, I'll film. But if I didn't kill a deer, like I'm hunting solo, and I got tired of carrying a camera.
Yeah.
Because I was
Heavy,
filming
too.
somebody else, and they were really particular, and I watched them pass a lot of deer at very good shots, but it wasn't the right shot.
We don't
Right?
do that shit.
We don't mess around with that. Like, and so I took a few years off, and then it was last year or 2 years ago. I was like, man, I've had so many good opportunities where I should have a camera.
Yeah.
And then finally, I just made the decision. I'm like, I'm filming it.
Mhm.
So I lug it back, whatever you got to do. Rifle's a little different. That was tough this
Yeah.
year. But in archery, like solo, like point and shoot, man. Turn it on, be ready, stay.
Have it in frame. Even if you're all the way zoomed out, we can play with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, it's made me a better hunter because I'm more patient.
Right.
Because I'm like, I really want this on camera. Because that's the whole point. Like, if I'm filming it, like, I got to get it on camera.
Yeah.
So I was just curious because, I mean, we get a lot of good stuff. It's hard to get them on camera. It's really difficult.
Debate I always have, well, not the debate, but the thing I always say is, I'll come film it. It's going to be better. If someone else is filming
Two
for you,
guys.
it's always going to
For
be better.
sure.
Like,
You gotta
no,
have to, but
no
sometimes
doubt.
you just don't have that, and you
Yeah.
got to be ready to pass on deer. I remember when I first started, I did shoot a buck that wasn't on camera, and I was like, "Yeah, this is great," but I mean, I really wish I could have watched it. And since then, it's just like, I'll see him again.
Yeah.
If as long as it's not like an absolute booner, like I'm still
Well,
going to try to
no
point it
doubt.
in the
If
right
it's-
direction.
If it's your target buck.
But if we're hunting
do your
does, it's
thing.
like you actually learn more about the deer. Just because you're watching them and you know when they're going to move, you know what they're moving. You just learn so much about their mannerisms.
Yeah.
Getting it in there and setting up and picking your shots, you take better shots.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
I agree with
I mean,
that.
I'll say I'll give it credit. The camera I had on and the buck I hit that I didn't recover, because I had the camera film, I knew exactly what I did on
Yeah.
that deer.
Yeah.
And that's
And
that
for
was
tracking?
a GoPro basically
Oh,
from
yeah.
18 yards away. So that thing was like this big, but you could zoom in on it. It's a little grainy, but you can tell where it hit them.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
no
light
doubt.
and
For
knock.
tracking and everything, it is invaluable to
Yeah.
see exactly where you hit instead
Oh,
of where
yeah.
you think you hit. Because
Oh,
a
then
lot
where
of
it
times
ran,
when
too.
you're fired up, where it ran, when you're fired up, you think you pulled a lot better shot than you really did sometimes. Or vice versa. You think you're like, oh, I freaking pulled that one, like that wall hanger we shot last year in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
I think I thought I missed low or maybe just ripped the
Buddy,
bottom out. I
flat out
freaking
missed
center
it.
punched it.
Yeah.
It went like 100 yards.
In 20-mile-an-hour gusts.
Would
and,
you
like,
say that
going back
you
and forth.
waylaid it?
I indeed waylaid it.
Oh man, it is tough. When I look back on it after I have the experience and I want to relive it, I totally regret not having the camera, or in the cases that I've killed this year,
The
not
thing that
turning
always kills
the
me
damn
is
thing
we
on.
we always plan like, okay, this weekend I'm taking
Yeah.
off work because I work Sundays.
Yeah.
I'm taking this Friday and Sunday off. We're going to do this, and we'll go wherever. And then, like, we hit these 3 days hard and we get this like incredible footage, don't see a fucking thing, you know? And then literally the next day that I can't go, he shoots one.
Yeah. Honestly, that stuff happens to everybody. It's just, you know, my rule is like, even if it sucks, always take it with me, because you never know if that freaking, you know, that deer is going to walk at 10 yards and just stand quartering away to you, and you're gonna hate yourself.
Unless your gear is gonna get rained on and ruined.
Yeah, or even if so, like sometimes I'll take like a gallon bag and cut a hole in it and put because I still run a camcorder on a DSLR, and I just put it on there like that. I've ran in
for self filming.
It's the best.
You know, as long as it's in frame, and I shoot 1080 60 now instead of 4K 30.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can see you still got that 60 frames. It's in frame, and people aren't gonna know or even care, even if they did know, what if you were using if you weren't using a mirrorless or DSLR. Like, they want that kill on camera. It still looks awesome. You know, so I'm going to keep running those, because I would rather have more kills on camera than have fewer kills on camera that are slightly more clear. You know, but he runs your mirrorless.
Yeah,
and it looks great. Like, it's awesome. But I
Booer knows more of the stats about my camera than I do.
Well, he has the same. My little camera is the same. He has the same model. We were actually talking lenses about a month ago or whatever. But
it's just it's a big investment, but
it's a huge investment.
I think it's worth it. I mean, if you're into it, I mean, we really like filming double, like you said. If we can stagger our stands and get in the same tree, and a guy can be like, okay, man, I cannot shoot the first buck. Like, even though we both have buck tags, because we've set it up that way, it's like drawing straws. Like, I'm filming you today, you're filming me in the evening, whatever. Morning, evening, flip-flop. I mean, that takes some patience.
See, like, archery season isn't as big a deal, because that's more his thing. Because, like, during turkey, he usually will film for me, because turkey's, you know, more my thing. Like, archery, I have no problem
filming.
I have absolutely no problem doing that.
I would line up all my hunting days.
I steal his deer meat anyway.
Based on my camera guy. If I'm not self-filming and not confident in it, or not that you're not confident, but like...
I don't have the setup for it. That's my problem. Like, I have a camera arm that I spent good money on it. I don't like it. It's cumbersome. It's not what
Which one do you have?
I have the Reach. Great camera arm. It's from Out on a Limb. It's made for me for self-filming. The problem is they've replaced since the bracket to connect it to the tree, and I haven't gotten the replacement bracket. So I got to strap this big, heavy, stupid thing to the tree. It's got 3 prongs on it, so it doesn't always sit right. Yeah. So sometimes I'll be swinging and the whole thing will shift up and down. That pisses me off. Now they've come out with a new one that's way more simplistic. One piece. It's lighter. It's smaller. It packs better. I'm going to get that one. I want to sell the other one. Not that it's bad. I might just we know him personally. I love the guy.
Yeah, Matt's a great dude.
But it's just not for you, right?
It's just not.
Buy gear that you're going to actually get the camera in the woods with.
Right, and that's
what I need. If you don't want to bring it with you, you're not going to bring it with you. That's my rule.
Yeah, I make too many excuses. Like, that's an extra, 10 pounds right there? Yeah, it can stay here. I'll carry my jacket and a Pop-Tart in the woods.
Pop-Tart. You got it's just everything else. Like, you got to want it, and as long as you have the right gear and you have the drive, you're going to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. 100% right, and that's why my thing is.
I'd be lining you up, man. Like, if you're like, I will film an archery any day. If we had that,
this guy's harder to get than the president. I could get the president.
That's all right.
To come out and film me better than I can.
That actually makes it easier for you, because you can be like, you can arrange your schedule around his tough schedule.
Cuzzy, let me know.
I really don't have a schedule.
We'll be doing that 5K oversampled, just like a little Salt Bay sprinkle on everything. You want me out there? But that's the other thing. I have a freaking mountain of like footage of like, dude, this day was sweet, but we're just missing that. Like, we can't make a video out of it. It's like, just like I won't make something half cocked. Yeah, but like, if we went out there and it was like,
didn't make it happen, right?
People want to see the camaraderie, but like you said, they want to see that money shot. So you got to have everything in there. And I'm not, I think we have the same mentality. Like, we're not going to put out something unless that's in there. Yeah. We can save everything else for B-roll, but unless you make it happen, it is what it is. Harder next time.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Because no one wants. If I don't want to watch that, really, then no one else does either.
Exactly.
So you guys both are on the same page here, both with your groups, right? You ever wonder how the hell the hunting public did it and got so big on filming 90% non-kills?
I don't know how. I like their personalities. That's all it is. They do have some really good. They have really good. They have
They've
good
worked
editors.
for some really.
They have good
people.
editors. That don't have that's basically their full time jobs. How they're able to put that stuff out. They're really good guys. They do have some really good kills. But I don't like watching when they do their turkey tour. I love watching turkey videos. I don't like it when it's a 27-minute video and there's not a kill. I don't. I just like.
I would say their first 2 turkey tours, I would watch every single second of every single minute, and I loved every single time they dropped a video, whether they killed or not. But at that time, I was just getting back into turkey hunting, so I was hungry for it. Like I was hungry. Now you might find me clicking through. Trying to find videos that I like.
Or sometimes I'll scroll to the end and see if they actually killed anything because they don't tell you a lot.
Well, now they're starting to put it in the thumbnail because I think they're seeing the same thing everyone else is seeing, that numbers are going down when there's not kills, and numbers are way up.
It's nothing against them, they're gonna. That's great,
not.
But it just I have so many free hours in the day already that I'm not gonna if. I want to know what I'm getting into when I watch a video.
You could say the same thing about like the Guggen squad and like on the fishing end of things. Like when all those dudes were like separate, like Lake Fork guy, I used to love watching his videos. Now he like talks about his wife's second pregnancy on his. I'm like, dude, fuck off with that. Like,
is he speaking Spanish? Is he speaking Spanish? I don't know.
But
Why'd you bring fishing?
It's the same thing. Like all
you guys make some fishing videos. We don't really do. We have a couple of them. We got a guy out east, Brian White. He's really good into bass fishing, but we don't put out a lot of fishing.
I mean, that's what we originally were. Was just fishing.
Mm-hmm. You guys ever watch Kill 'Em Outdoors?
Yeah, Dude, he just does straight vlogs, like basically unedited.
Day.
That dude's from New York, right?
Yeah,
right on the line.
Yeah, basically unedited stuff, and he just like kills it. Like he probably makes his whole living. He does seem like a great dude. It's just like I don't know.
He has a very monotone voice too. Like, he just
puts them out I think he makes it by mass content.
The more content you put out, the more ads you see, the more you get in their YouTube algorithm. But I'd rather have higher quality shit.
100%.
So, and if I never get up that big, that's completely fine. He does his thing. He enjoys it. He probably has a lot more time off than I do. It seems if he's doing that every day. But good on him. So
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it just goes to show though, like everyone has that little niche, right? Like everybody can be a little different. It's just all finding what you're happy with, what you enjoy doing, and then at the end of the day, does it work?
Yeah,
if it works for you,
if it ends up,
great.
If we end up blowing up or something like that, that's great. But as I already explained, just right now, the regional Western PA or sometimes the other parts of PA, like people appreciate what we're doing, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But we also talked about how we are one of the largest populations of hunters. I don't think your group. I don't think you guys get enough credit at the end of the day for what you do, or enough viewership from Pennsylvanians. Like,
I agree.
What are these people doing? Why are you not blowing up? We're Western Pennsylvania guys that are pretty damn successful and really successful in capturing that moment. Where are all the hunters?
Yeah, we've asked ourselves that before, and it's like, is it just the YouTube algorithm? Do our videos really not that good? And I don't have an answer for you because there's so many. Like there was a couple million or something.
Yeah.
And you're telling me we only have like just over 2,500 subscribers,
which is way more than us.
Because we put out like, I don't mean to sound like I'm gloating or something, but we put out some of the best hunting content in the state. I feel like with our hunts, because there's always a kill on camera, and it's always the pacing is pretty good. You know about pacing because you edit videos. Yeah. It's always everything's there. So it's like where are they? I don't have an answer for you. I don't.
Yeah. It's almost like, do they not know that there's great hunting content on YouTube?
Well, the thing was when we
I didn't watch Outdoor Channel. When you said like, who is that? People started with a B or something.
Oh, the Bowmores.
Yeah, I don't know who they are because I don't watch the Outdoor Channel because I can't stomach it because it's not realistic.
Are they on
me getting jacked up on a barely legal bus
there either?
No, we'll talk
they don't
about
belong
that
on there
off
either.
The air because God forbid somehow
we'd probably get sued by them.
Probably would.
There'd be a lawsuit. So
if you didn't say anything that's like untrue, you're fine.
They're great people, I'm sure.
But like the Laurel Sportsman's Night Out, we were doing a giveaway that it was like $200 worth of stuff that like was like nice stuff. All you had to do was subscribe to our YouTube channel to get entered. That is literally it. And people were like turning their nose up like, I don't know. Like,
I don't have that
we've done all that stuff and it doesn't go anywhere. And we do enjoy, like, we're happy that people got their stuff.
Yeah.
But to try to get the exposure, people aren't into it, man. I don't understand it. It's like we
did an archery shoot last year. I'm not going to talk numbers.
That actually like really hurt my feelings.
Absolutely tanked.
Yeah.
Absolutely tanked. Like nobody showed up. And all these people, I'm thinking, I know more people that shoot a bow than that are here right now.
Seaburn.
What the absolute F is going on right now? Like
I don't understand it.
And It did. It bothered me a lot too because we put a lot of effort into it.
It hurt my feelings. Like it really did.
It was professionally put together. Everything was great.
We had vendors there.
It was legit and all for nothing.
It was July?
Last August?
Was it August? Yeah, it was August. It was the beginning of August.
And it was late. It was put together kind of. I mean, we had the date for a long time and we advertised it and everything else through our podcast and social media, which isn't a lot either. But
well, if you advertised it, I mean, did you see that?
No,
I don't think I did either. But
I may have glanced and not been like, oh, I can't be there.
That's probably.
You look at it, you're like, that's on a weekend. I can't be there.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough. And there were other shoots going on that day and whatever. But it was like.
You put a lot of effort into stuff sucks. Just for like us
weather was
VA
great.
guys.
Like there was no excuse, and it was just like, dude, some of our friends didn't even show up, and I was like, what?
Especially when they said they were, and no one showed.
Even the giveaways and stuff like that, where everyone else that I know knew about it. It's just like we're talking to like Wasp Archery, we're talking to Victory, we're talking to a lot of these Predator companies.
Yeah,
and we show them all our videos and like, wow, that's really great. Like, what do you want for this giveaway? And then like we try to get like we needed like 100 more Instagram followers or something, and we didn't. We got 20 maybe over the course of a month. It's like
and then you guys are pushing it hard.
Listen, we know it's really weird. We were 4 Instagram followers away from 10,000. I think over a year and a half ago, and then I got on one day and it said something about you've lost this many followers because you're growing too fast or something. And we lost
what the hell does that even mean?
We lost 300 to 400 followers, and we've been neutered ever since. The only increase we've got was the past couple of days when I put out that reel that got over 50K. That's when we got like maybe 100. But we've been we haven't made like usually we got like 400 to 500, 600 likes per post, and now we're getting maybe 100, 200.
Yeah.
So that really was a kick in the nuts. So it's just I don't know if the algorithms are screwing us on some of these, like the exposure, like why we didn't I didn't see your thing. I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
right.
It's conspiratorial, but like at some point, it's like why? I just don't like you asked. I can't answer.
There has to be some other factor involved in this because there's no way you can tell me out of all the hunters in Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York.
Well, how many videos do you guys have that either got pulled down or like they're demonetized? Because we got a lot of those.
Well, we're not.
We
monetized.
Can't even monetize.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We had quite a few that are like just not monetized, and we tried pretty hard to make everything look up to par with YouTube standards and like not too gory and stuff. A couple like he finished off his deer this year, and it was pretty brutal.
Deer.
We didn't put that in there.
Yeah,
but and they're still up. But it's just I think that they really realized that like. We're killing animals, and I think that maybe there's got to be something there.
I think so too.
The only video we ever had flagged, it was for freaking copyright. We were in in Ryan Tanner's truck.
And someone's playing radio, and then
it was Van Halen playing on the radio while we were talking.
We've had those.
And I'm
remember
like,
you had that Instagram post taken down too. Me and him sitting on a tree took a selfie together.
All it was
turkey
just,
hunting.
You couldn't see a gun. You couldn't see there was nothing. It was just us sitting there laughing.
Oh,
and it was like, this goes against community guidelines.
Oh, that's so stupid. And then you can have like all these like Instagram chicks like taking pictures of their butthole, and that's completely fine.
Like blatant nipple. Like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
That's why
I don't get it.
I'm not mad about seeing it, but let's be
right.
real here.
There's a place for everyone.
Me and my dude were just giggling on a tree like a couple kids, and it's like against we're not allowed to have fun now.
Community standards.
Yeah.
Across the line.
I'll show you my butthole, but I'd rather
Maybe
not resort
we
to
need
that.
more butthole on the channel.
Yeah.
I think more beehole. I don't know, boys. We've been going at it for an hour and a half now. I mean, we could definitely hit the final thoughts part of this. Like, you guys got anything else you want to talk about? What did we miss?
Say where we can find you, all that happy stuff.
Yeah, so we're on Instagram at Heirs to the Outdoors. You search Heirs to the Outdoors on YouTube and also Facebook. We just pop right up. We got a bunch of content. We got predator hunts, mostly coyote, turkey hunts, bow hunts, rifle hunts, youth hunts, how-tos, reviews. Yeah, reviews are actually really hot.
And talk about your Honda commercial.
Some trapping videos. Yeah, we'll talk about Honda. Yeah, so we got the trapping videos.
the next episode.
Yeah, me and Bruce were in a Honda commercial because apparently Hollywood liked our videos, and so we got on there. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff on the channel, and we're actually going to be uploading all of our YouTube content straight to Facebook just for exposure this year, and just so we have it all over the place. So you can find our content all over the place. We always take comments. anything that we can make stuff better. If you guys want to see something specific, like I think I actually might try to shoot a groundhog with an AK this year. That's going to be fun. Just goofy stuff. So yeah, that's where you can find us. And I appreciate y'all listening, and I appreciate you guys for having us on.
Appreciate the hell of you guys coming on. It's like I said, it's been a while. We've been talking about it. So
we'll have to do a recap, man.
Yeah, definitely. After maybe this turkey season, we'll talk about how our turkey seasons went, and if we heard any gobbles at all, depending on how hot it is. We'll talk about that season placement later.
Well, guys, as always, you can check us out on YouTube at Northern Outcast Outdoors. You can check this out on all your major podcast things if you haven't already subscribed. If you're listening to this, I guess it doesn't make much sense. Chuck, stop recording this now.
Is that all you had to say?
That's all I can say.
Hit one of the buttons.
I always say fuck smelly.